When you work with virtual machines in Azure, those virtual machines are going to have one of a pretty wide variety of sizes, each size having different capabilities. Let's take a look at that and get a feel for what's available for your virtual machines.
When you're creating a virtual machine, one of the key decisions you're going to make is the size of the virtual machine. Now, the good news is if you don't get it right away, you can scale up and scale down a virtual machine very easily through PowerShell, through the API, through the portal as well. But if you do resize, if you scale up or down a virtual machine, it is going to reboot that virtual machine. So when you're scaling it, when you're sizing it, there's two things you need to consider. First of all, what are the resources that are going to be required to properly run the load that you expect to have on that virtual machine? The second is cost. Otherwise, you just go and get, the biggest and most powerful virtual machine available. There's a couple things you want to think about when you're sizing out your virtual machines. One is what tier you want to use, and then the other is what size within that tier. There are several different tiers. I'm not even going to go through all the tiers because by the time that you watch this, they may have added more tiers. Each tier typically represents a different set of capabilities, which again then can be sized out within that tier. Right now, if you look on the screen, you'll see that there are 3 different sizes. I've started the process of creating a virtual machine. I just got to the size because this makes it nice and easy to see what's different within the different tiers and the different sizes within the tiers. Right now, I'm looking at the one size within 3 different tiers. I've got the D1 V2 standard, the D1 standard, and the A1 standard. And you can see there's slight differences between them. The D1 V2 and D1 look identical, but the D1 V2 actually has faster processors. All right, now these are not all of the tiers that are available or all the sizes. Those are just the recommended ones. If I click View All, you can see quite a number of different tiers that are available. And I'm just clicking through this. I highly recommend that you take a look. Also, don't be, don't hold these numbers here. These are estimates on the account that I'm logged into as far as how much it would cost per month to run a virtual machine with that tier. A lot of factors go into that. Microsoft's changing their pricing frequently, typically going down. Also, whether or not you're embedding, say, your Windows license with this. Right now, this includes the license to, I think this one was Windows Server 2012 R2 Data Center. All right, so in any case, you have quite a number of different sizes, different characteristics, and you definitely want to take a look into the different tiers and understand what each tier provides as far as baseline performance. Now, if you want to get a list of these, you can also go here. I've got PowerShell open, and if I run a PowerShell commandlet get Azure RMVM size, it's going to give me a list of the different sizes. And also, it's pretty cool, each of these sizes. So for example, here's standard A11, that can go up to a maximum of 16 data disks. And you can see the number of cores, the OS size, OS disk size, and the resource disk size in megabytes for each of those. And again, this is just a quick list, and it goes you can see different sizes, the DS sizes, etc. So you want to make that decision, and again, once you make the decision, you can always go back and change it. Very easy to do through the properties of the through the portal of the virtual machine, through PowerShell, or even through the API.
As I've said, and we'll say again, one thing you want to be aware of is always check back and see, because they're always adding different virtual machine sizes. So what I showed you today, and by the time you see this, may be a little bit different.